because that's the most useless trap at the moment. So that's fine, it's just a meat shield, so to speak, without the meat. Hey everyone, this is Harkon, and today I have another Kickstarter preview for you. Today we will be looking at Midhalla by West Games. A huge thanks to them for entrusting me with a prototype copy. I very much appreciate it. Today's preview will be done in my most favorite format. I will show you a solo playthrough of the game, mentioning a few things about the scope of the game, and then I will give you my preview. Feel free to use the timestamps to jump to the part you're interested in the most. As usual, bonus points if you watch the entire video. A small note, this is not a teach. I'm merely showing you the basic gameplay and then telling you my thoughts about it. So, as usual, I can't guarantee I play everything correctly. Of course, I am trying. So in case I do make a mistake, I will note that in my pinned comment. So, that's the place you should look for any corrections. So, Midhalla is a cooperative dungeon crawler that focuses on strategic hero mechanics, tower defense elements, and a character-centered story. Let me show you how that looks like in terms of gameplay, but first, as usual, I'll just set up the game. Alright, and that is pretty much now the setup of the game. Yeah, the tea is still a little bit too hot, so I'll have to wait for that. Alright. So, I definitely also want to show you like the story part of this game, because that's very important. Because yeah, that's just one of the main draws of the game. Besides, of course, the quite interesting gameplay combinations here. So, what I will do, I will just read out the story and everything, and after that, I will show you like how the setup looks like and what we're doing here. As usual, you know, I have timestamps in the description, so you can just jump to whatever part you want if you don't want to be spoiled regarding the story, or if you're not interested in it, which would be a shame, because, I mean, that's a big part of the game. Alright, so because Midhalla does have this Saga of Harkon campaign book. Harkon is one of our two characters here. We have Harkon and Enig. Enig the herbalist and Harkon the Dranger. And let me try to put that here without breaking anything. So, Prologue. Centuries ago, a war raged across the world. Isil, the fallen goddess, opened underground portals into the realm of men. She sent forth her minions, the demonic Isil spawn, to bring chaos across the land. They were led by one of the 5 archdemons, Yarstorna the Blood Wolf. The only thing standing between the Isil spawn and the destruction of mankind were the legendary Viking clans of old, led by Tarik, Jarl of the clans. The clans fought many a battle, suffering heavy losses, but bit by bit they were able to drive back the chaos. In a final effort, known as the Battle of Midhalla, the armies collided one last time. Lightning split the sky and thunder echoed around the world as Yarstorna was mortally wounded by Tarik, just as she buried her fangs deep in his chest, taking him down with her. It was a grim victory, and the names of the warriors lived on in the songs of the Viking bards, the Skalds, for generations. After the Blood Wolf's defeat, the clans closed the underground portals and sealed the dungeons with mighty runes imbued with the power of the gods themselves. To guard them, they founded the village of Guardians, Midhalla. They vowed to keep watch until the end of their time, to pass their duty on down to the next in their bloodline. And so, generation after generation kept watch. But much time has passed since then, and over the centuries the old war became but a mystic tale. Midhalla's younger generations of warriors now seek glory in other deeds, going on raids to foreign kingdoms and exploring distant lands. Tarik's name and his deeds have long been forgotten. Maybe too long. Chapter 1. Dranger. You duck and feel the blade barely missing your head. That was close. But there it is, an opening in your enemy's defense. A rare opportunity against such an experienced opponent. You seize it and swing your axe in a wide arc, the edge racing towards the now indefensible side. You already feel the thrill of victory when the warrior's eyes lock with yours, and your heart sinks as she gives you a predatory smile. Then she lurches forward, dropping her sword and moving too far into your swing for you to finish it. You try to bring your shield up, but it's too late. Her forehead feels like a solid rock as her headbutt connects with your face. You stumble back, but she trips you and you fall to the ground, dropping your weapon to find balance. A moment later, you feel the cool steel against your throat. It is over. Well fought, youngling, Tora exclaims, a taunting grin on her face. Not enough to touch me, though. But your training is over, and you are hereby one of us, a worthy Viking warrior, a Dranger. Laughs and claps from the bystanding cheering for you reach her ears, as Tora offers you a hand and pulls you to your feet. As you try to clear your head, Anik, the shaman's daughter, joins you. She has been like a sister to you, and you have trained and played together since you were children. She has followed in her father's footsteps, learning the art of healing with herbs and runes, while you have owned your axe's skills in the Warriors Guild. A great fight, Harkon. How about the three of us get a nice meal to celebrate the completion of your training? This morning I saw some deer tracks just outside the village. The thought of tenderly roasted game over the fire makes your mouth water, and you eagerly agree to join her. Following the tracks, you venture deep into the forest. They are still fresh, so the game must be close by. You sneak past some bushes and you see a puddle of blood and a crude arrow on the ground. Someone has beaten you to your prey. You look around cautiously, but there's no sign of life. You, Tora, and Anik move quietly to explore the area. As you push through the thicket, you see an old overgrown pathway paved with solid stones. There are traces of blood leading along the path, and at the end you see a set of stone stairs leading down into an underground structure. At the bottom of these stairs, you find a large wooden door inscribed with runic symbols. Anik examines the symbols, her eyes shining with excitement. These symbols look familiar, but somehow different from what is commonly used by our shamans and stormcrawlers. I can read them, but I can feel a hint of magic energy. These must be ancient. You test the handle and the door opens easily. In the distance you hear snarls and squeaks in the kobold tongue. Looks like we may be getting our share of adventure earlier than we thought, you say with a grin. Let's hope they still have our lunch. You draw your axe and step through the door ready for whatever lies ahead. Alright, so, and we now find ourselves in the dungeon. Our goal is to fully explore the dungeon and also defend the gate. But before we do, let me just kind of explain what we see here. So here is our dungeon. We have our dungeon laid out here. That is what we have explored so far. We will explore a little bit later. I would have to go down further, so I might have to push everything up a little bit. But I think we can. I can manage that. And then here we have like a few enemies already. Usually these come in like standees, right? Right here. So you can actually see the enemies better. I will put them like this. Disclaimer, of course, this is a preview copy, right? I will talk about that more in my review later on, but all these components are still bound to change, and they will change, even quite a bit, right? So I will talk about that a little bit later. So here we have our dungeon. Here we have the enemies, including their current health and abilities. I will get to that whenever we have our first combat, which will be quite soon. And here we have the health of the gate. Currently it is 20. If it's reduced to 0, then we lose. That's like our main objective, right? Defending the gate and also exploring the dungeon. Here we have like a tracker of runestones and silver. At the moment for this first chapter we only have silver, right? Then here we just have more enemies and more map tiles that we can explore or meet later on. And here we have our character board. So you see, there are a lot of components in this game. I will talk about that later as well. But like the starting setup isn't too massive. It's actually quite okay. And then we have like our two character boards. Here we have abilities that we can use. We already have gained like one starting ability each. And like here you see like these are like level 1 abilities, and we will gain level 2 abilities later on. And we can like always use them with our two trackers here. These two ultimate skills are still locked. I will talk about that a little bit later. Here we just have our activation token. We just flip that when we're done with our turn. I hope I will think of that. Since I'm playing by myself and there's only two characters, sometimes I forget to like flip them over because I know which characters I have already gone, but still I will try to do so. And here we have our health. The starting and max health of Harkon is 6 and Anik has 5 starting and maximum health. That is what you see here. So usually you would go through 4 phases. You would do exploration, preparation, combat, and then the rewards, and then you will start with exploration again, as long as you need to actually fulfill your goals. We will skip exploration and preparation for now in the first scenario because there are already enemies, and we do immediately have to start with phase 3 combat. And combat is also divided in 3 further steps. First we have the enemy turns, then we have trap turns. We don't have any traps yet. We will get some later, just a little spoiler. And then we have our hero turns, right? So first we do the enemy turns, and there is like so-called tile activation order. That means we activate the dungeon tile by tile, and we always start like if there's like we go from our starting point, which is now the gate here, and then we see like we just activate the next adjacent tile. But there are two, so if there are twos, we always start like in a clockwise order, right? So we will now activate this tile and then all adjacent ones until we can't anymore, and then we will go back to our starting tile and activate the other tiles that we haven't activated yet, starting with the adjacent one, right? So that's just the rough rundown of how this activation order functions. So we will now activate the right part of the dungeon and then the left part in this order, right? And that means we need to start activating enemies. So we will go to the right, nothing there, but there is a rune golem. The rune golem has an armor of 1. That means we always do like 1 attack less than we actually do, right? Because it can defend, it has good defense, but it will always target traps first. And if there are no traps, then it will start moving towards the gate. As soon as it is at the gate, it will then start attacking the gate. Every enemy has like a target. So these two have like the player as the target, so they will attack the players. And after that, if there are no players left, well, then we lose. But in theory, they would then attack the gate. Okay, so we will start with the rune golem, which we have to activate first. We do a target check. So we just see, do we have a target here? There is no range to the rune golem. Is there a target here? But there is none. So that means then we do a gate check. Is it at the gate? It's not, and then it will move, right? The default move value of an enemy is always 1. So and we always go into the direction of the map tile. Like we always go to the adjacent map tile in the direction of the gate. The rune golem will just walk here, and that is already it, right? Because one thing to keep in mind is, or to remember, is that enemies either attack or move. They never do both. That is very important to know. Otherwise, the game would be a lot harder. So we have activated these two. Now we go back to the starting tile and activate now to the left. Nothing here. And here we have the Kobold Warrior right here. The Kobold Warrior has the player as a target and does 2 melee damage. And also has an evasion token. I will talk about that in just a bit. So first target check. There's no player. Then there's also no gate. So it will also move 1 towards the gate, getting closer to us. Same thing with the Kobold Archer. The Kobold Archer has the player target, does 2 damage with a range of 2, and it can also shoot across corners, so to speak, right? So it doesn't matter whether it's straight or not, we just count the tiles. So it would shoot 1, 2 until here, but there are no players there, so no players, no gate, so it will also move 1. And yeah, and that works. Then, as I said, we would have the trap turns now, but there are no traps at the moment, so we will now do the hero turns. And what we can do now is we can choose in which order we want to activate them. We just flip our activation token when we are done. And we have like these skills here. It might be a little small, but I will kind of guide you through that. So let's, for example, go to Harkon. Harkon the Drangar, and we have like 2 lines of moves, the top line and the bottom line. And we always need to do 1 skill in the first line, and then 1 in the second. We need to do this order. We cannot flip that, right? Always first line, second line. Next time it's Harkon's turn, you see that these are already there, and we need to put these on a free spot. So we can't use a specific ability twice in a row, right? Next time we will have to maybe put it there and there, right? So that is one thing that is important to know. We do that with both characters. The ultimates are not activated yet. These will be activated a little bit later. Also, we can also skip like parts of the abilities, except if they're negative, right? So, for example, here we would have like move 1 and armor 1. We can only do armor 1 if we wanted to, right? So what I will do is we do have advance, move 1. We have move 1 and armor 1, attack 2. And also here we have like piercing damage, which ignores armor. And then we have also attack plus 1 plus X, and X is the enemy armor, right? But I will definitely move towards the kobold here. That's the first thing I will do. So I will just go over here with a move action, and I will take the move action with the armor, because that means I receive an armor token, and I can just use that like reduce damage once by 1 when I get attacked, and that's a good idea because there are two of these kobolds here, and one of them will definitely attack me. So my first skill, and for the second one, I do have attack 2, attack 3, and twice attack 1. But the Kobold Warrior has this evasion token. That means the first attack I do, it will actually negate, right? So attacking 2 or 3 wouldn't make any sense. So what I will do instead is I would cleave, attack twice with with damage of 1. That means the first damage will be evaded and the second one will actually hit. So the Kobold Warrior now has 4 health left. So that was already my turn with Harkon. I would turn this over here and then it would be Ennek's turn. Alright, so with Ennek we can move, we can also heal a little bit. So that's the first row, right? Just move different speeds and also heal and attack a little bit here. Attack 1, okay? But it's on melee. And then here we have attack 2, and heal 2 with a range of 2, which is pretty good, right? With Ennek we actually want to do some damage as well. So the thing is that the golem will go for the gate. It will ignore us, right? It will not do any damage to us. So I think the best thing is to actually get rid of the kobolds first. I think that's the best thing. So what I will do, I will actually move with Ennek and move 1 over here. And the Kobold Warrior still has 4 health. So that is not enough. I will not be able to actually do like 4 damage, right? But I can at least do a little bit and will do 2 damage with engage right here. We can heal later on, so that's one thing that we can do. So that is 2 damage. So next round we will be able to finish off the Kobold Warrior, hopefully. Alright, so and now it's back to the enemy phase again, right? We activate everything in the correct order again. The golem can't attack traps or the gate, so it will move right here. Next round, it will start attacking the gate and do like 1 damage each turn. We have 20 health at the moment there, so I think that's okay. Then the Kobold Warrior will go. The Kobold Warrior will do 2 damage to a target. There are 2 targets in its range, so we can choose one. Let us just choose Harkon, because Harkon just has more health. I think that's a good idea. And then at the end of its turn, it will regain its evasion, right? So that will go back. Oh, by the way, we only receive 1 damage because we have that armor token. I forgot about that, right? I almost forgot about it. I didn't quite. And then we have the Ranger. The Ranger has a range of 2, so it can hit the 2 heroes. We will just choose one of them, and we will choose Harkon again, I would say. All right, and that was already the turn. So now it's back to the hero's turn. And now let's see. I definitely want the Kobold Warrior gone, right? That is one thing I really want to do, because then we have the first enemy gone. But the thing is, it has its evasion meter, so we need at least 2 attacks. And we can only attack with Harkon once and only attack with Ennek once. So we will need 1 more turn to completely finish off the warrior. The archer will be easier then, right? Well, we could also go to the archer theoretically, but let's just stay with the warrior for now. I will go with Ennek first. With Ennek, I will do an attack 1 and heal 1. I think that's one thing I want to do. So I will attack 1 for the Kobold Warrior. It will just lose its evasion, that's all. And then I will heal Harkon for 1 health. And then, I wasn't quite honest, because I can actually do, that was 1 attack, and then do the second attack with attack 2, and finish off the Kobold Warrior. So that one is gone, which is wonderful. And now we still have our turn. You see, I forgot about all of that activation stuff. And then we still have our turn with Harkon. With Harkon, I will move 1 right here. And then I will do an attack of 3. That means going down here to 2. So the Kobold Archer is almost gone as well. Alright, now it's the Golem's turn again. No traps, but the gate. So it will do 1 damage versus the against the gate. So let's see, right there. So it's now reduced to 19. And then the archer will go. The archer will shoot. We can just choose any of these targets here. So how I play it is that it doesn't have to be exactly 2 range, right? But like within 2 range. So I also say that the archer can attack either Harkon, which is on the who's on the same tile, or Ennek, which is 1 tile away. I play it like this because I understood the rules this way. If this is not quite correct, I will put the correction in the pinned comment. But we will attack. Who we will attack? Let's just continue attacking Harkon, I suppose. We will just heal him up in just a bit. Alright, so it's our turn again. Well, we can just finish everything off. We can just finish some stuff off. What I will actually do is I will, well, will I do that? Yeah, I will do that. So I will now start with Harkon. I always forget these activation tokens. I'm sorry about that. With Harkon, I will start. I will do armor. Well, I don't need armor 1 anymore. So let's see how we can do that. Attack and then do another attack doesn't really help us, right? Not really. What I will do then is that I will just attack 2 and then I guess attack 2 again. Doesn't really matter too much, so we will definitely do that 2 damage to the covert archer, which is now gone. All right. And now with Anik, I will do different things. I will do Sacred Fire because I can either attack 1 or I can heal 1 with a range of 1. So I will heal 1 for Harkon, which is now at a 3. And then I will also do Aether's Blessing, which is a heal 2 over a range of 2. So we can bring him up to full health almost, which is not too bad. The Golem will go again and attack the gate again right here. Our turn. So I can not move 2 with Harkon, which is a little bit annoying, right? Because we need to finish off the Golem. So yeah, I will just move 1 with Harkon. And then just go to 2 attack, it doesn't really matter. And with Anik, I will move 1 as well, right here. And then I will do an attack of 2. That means the Golem receives 1 damage, only 1, because it has an armor of 1, right? So that's one thing to keep in mind. Alright, so, and then it's the Golem's turn again. It's business as usual, going down to 17. The Golem will not attack Anik or any other player because the targets are set to the trap and then, as usual, the gate. So that's why we will not be attacked by the Golem, which is good because I'm going to move in with Harkon, like move 1 and gain 1 armor. I will leave that because we can only use it until the next turn and we will not get attacked. So I will just leave it and then do an attack of 3. That means the Golem goes down by 2. And then we do the same with Anik. We attack 1 and heal 1. That means we do 1 damage to the Golem and also heal Harkon back up to 6. And then I will do an attack of 2, which is only 1, but that's fine. The gate is reduced to 16 when it's the Golem turn again. We still need to do 4 damage. We will be able to do that. So I will do 2 damage with Harkon and another 2 damage with Harkon, which means that the Golem has now 2 health left. And then I will go with Anik and do... Actually, I can't quite get the Golem down down. I think. Well, actually, I can do an attack of 1. That doesn't do anything. Well, I will just do a movement, but it will stay there. And then I will do an attack of 2, which is only 1. So yeah, the Golem will actually attack the gate 1 more time. So the gate has been reduced by 1/4, by 25%. Because now we can actually move in with Harkon and deal the finishing blow. It only has 1 health, so it doesn't really matter what I choose here. Okay, and we have also defeated the Golem. So that was now the combat phase, right? So we always have like exploration, preparation, which we skipped. Then we have combat, and then we have the rewards phase. And that is now interesting because we get a few things. First, each hero can reset 1 ultimate ability. That's after each combat. In each rewards phase, we can reset 1 ultimate ability. That means we take one of these 2 and take off the counter, and we can then use it in a battle. And we can also use it additionally to like the row 1 and row 2 skill in a round. So here we have with Harkon, we have on the left double attack 2 and attack 3. That is pretty strong. It's like an attack of 5. And then here we have spot weakness. That's a piercing attack of 3, which is also good, but I think I will actually take this off. Also, we will take these 2 off here because we need to get them ready for the next battle in case there is one. And then for Anik, we either can do Healing Balm, heal 4, which is pretty good, or do like a piercing attack of 3 with a range of anywhere. And that is pretty nice. So I will definitely take that. Like any range, that is pretty impressive. Although that strong heal is not bad as well, but let's do it like this, I think. Okay, so that's one thing. And then we can level up. Leveling up goes as follows. We have this nice little deck of skill cards. We don't need the 3s here, right? But the 2s. So let me get the 2s out here. There we go. And we will now just shuffle these up. I just give them a quick shuffle because they have been shuffled already. I've played the game before, of course. So, and then we will put out 2 skills here, plus 1 for each player. For a solo player, I'm actually putting out 2 skills because we have 2 players, so to speak, right? So these are a little bit small here, but let me just tell you, we have growing threat. We set a die to 1 on combat phase star, and then we add +1 to a die on our turn end. That's pretty nice. Like each turn this grows, and we can like we do that. We can then use it and attack as have a die like attack as, and then we can attack with a strength as much as high as the die value is, right? So at least 1 or maximum 6. That's pretty nice. Fast assistance, move 1, heal 1, repair 1. And repair would be for repairing traps. I don't know if I will do that, so I think that's not as interesting. Then we have bull rush, attack 2 plus X. And X is our move value this turn. So not the distance moved, right? So I could move 1, but not move at all, but still I would have +1 attack. That is not too bad, right? We could actually like rush into enemies and do quite a bit of damage. And then here, reckless offensive is suffer 1 damage and attack 4. Not too bad either, but I don't want to do that. So I think growing threat, like the growing attack, I will actually put on Enek. And the bull rush, I will put on Harkon. I think that is a pretty good idea. Okay, so let me put these away again. And also, after I have put them away, I will get a little cup of tea in, because now it should be well drinkable. Yes, it definitely is. All right, wonderful. So that was almost our rewards phase. The last thing is we get 6 silver. Silver will be important. We can use that a little bit later on. And now we start at the beginning again. What I can show you over here is actually like these are the phases, right? There's like a cool like player handout where you have like the setup and you have like the phases here, and then we also have the keywords here. That's a pretty good player aid, but I will talk about that a little bit later. So we did just the rewards phase. Now we start again with the exploration phase, right? And what we do is during this phase, we further explore parts of the dungeon. Contrary to other dungeon crawlers, I will actually not move around the meeple here, like our miniatures, right? We will just stay there, that's fine. And we will just explore the dungeon like this. That is how we do it. And how we do this is we have like specific path here, and wherever we want to go, like H, then I will look up H and it will tell us like which tile to place and also which verse to read. Verses are like small story bits that now happen in the dungeon. So, right, we had the intro story, we had that battle, and now we have like little story bits, things that happen while we explore the dungeon. Which kind of reminds me, well, it's like far off, right? But it kind of reminds me a little bit of Above and Below by Ryan Lockett, where you, of course, it's like way different, not a dungeon crawler, but we like turn over a card and then you read out whatever that card says, right? And something happens. So, of course, it's different, but it's like these little story bits. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so I will actually explore H. In H, we need to take tile 15A. These are all sorted by number here, as you can see, right? So we'll take tile 15A. And if it says like H and 15A, we will also put these two like right to each other, right next to each other. And you see there are no further letters or numbers here. That means this is just a dead end, right? But we need to read out that verse. And that is verse 104. So let me read that out. You hear the sound of running water ahead of you, and as you step forward, you find a small underground stream crossing the pathway. It shimmers in a faint blue light. Anik smiles, then draws a handful of water and shares a sip with you before drinking the rest. Your body feels refreshed as the sacred water's healing energy slowly mends your wounds. Other than that, however, this way seems to be a dead end, so you will need to search for your lunch elsewhere. Restore all heroes to full HP. If all heroes are already at full HP, which is the case, Harkon resets his other ultimate. Explore further by selecting an unexplored passage. So that is really cool. They both already are at full health because it's only 5 here, but that's the max health. So we can actually also get the other ultimate. So Harkon will now have 2 ultimates. So we could have like 1 round with like 4 attacks, right? Oh no, I think I can only use 1 ultimate a round, but still. We definitely have like 5 attack here, another 3 attack here, including Pierce, so that is pretty good. Alright, we're done exploring here, so only way to explore is B, right? And for B, we will use tile number 3A. So let me just get that out here. And as I said, right, B and then 3A. So now you can't quite see everything, so let me just pull that up a little bit. So like this should kind of work. I think that's fine. I will actually get that die down a little bit so you see how much health the gate has left. I could also pull up the camera more, but I want you to see as much as possible. So I think like this, it's totally fine. All right, let's read out the next verse here. The next verse is 107. There are some mystic runes scribed onto the walls with a luminescent blue color. Some of the inscription is overgrown with moss. Enoch pulls out a dagger and removes it carefully, trying not to do damage to the runes. It is an ancient reciting of a battle against the archdemon Jarlstoner the Blood Wolf and the origins of the village of Midhalla. I will need some time to decipher this. While she studies the runes, you find some remains of a kobold encampment in the corner. A quick search confirms your suspicion that there are mostly rags and garbage to be found here. Just as you want to turn away, Tora taps you on the shoulder and points to a rock formation. They have hidden a scrappy chest there. Want to see what is inside? You walk over and find a half-rotten chest containing a coin purse and some parchment scrolls the kobolds must have taken off a careless traveler. The scrolls detail some devices similar to the defensive structures that are used to defend the gates and passages to Midhalla. These could be useful. So we gain another 6 silver. You can't see it now, but we are at 12 silver at the moment. And also there's one thing. We have like this party sheet at the back of the rule book. Let me just get this quickly, because that is pretty interesting. Here at the back of the rule book, we have like this party sheet. And here we can cross out lore, we can cross out events, decisions, traps, and all of that kind of stuff, right? And we can also like unlock new classes right here. New classes and story elements, like a lot of stuff here, which is pretty cool. And now we are unlocking the spike trap and the blade trap. I will not cross these out because I want to send this on to the next reviewer, right? But these are the 2 traps that we actually unlocked. And what we do then there is that we actually take the trap cards and we put them above our board, right? So I will actually put them down here because here we have some room. And we can buy those later on with silver. And one thing that's really cool there is we have like, look at this, we have like these small miniatures. Isn't that cool? And not only that, I will put the miniature there for now, and we can also like put these dice, which is like the health, in the miniature. Isn't that cool? Check this out. I think this is really cool. I really like this design. This is a very, very cool and clean design. So let me just put all of these in here. These have a health of 3, just in case we want to buy them later on, like this. You see? So, isn't that cool? Like, these are really sharp. You need to be careful, right? These spikes, but this looks really cool. I quite enjoy this. And also what we do is we unlock lore 1. Lore 1 means that we can take this lore 1 token here, and we put it right up here in our main board. There's like an exclamation mark here, and we can put it right there. So we have unlocked that, and then we can look into read in the later part of the rulebook. There is like the lore, these lore entries here that we can read. So let me just find them. There we not here. There we go, the Tome of Lore. And then we have lore that we can read out. I will not read that out yet because it doesn't have anything to do with the story, with the campaign, like with the scenario here itself, but like with the lands of Fern West, and that is something that that you can just discover on your own when you actually have this game in your hands at some point. But I think that is a pretty cool touch. All right, and now we're at C here, right? At C, we need to place tile 10A. So let me just find tile 10A here. And I think it will kind of fit. That's fine. That is totally enough, like this. And we read the next verse. There are some markings on the wall here that look like giant claw marks that have cut deep into the stone. They are overgrown with moss and roots, so whatever caused them must be gone long ago. As you stare at them, an image flashes in front of your eyes. A giant wolf with glowing eyes, giant fangs, and razor-sharp claws ripping through Viking warriors as if they were straw. You jump backwards, but the image is gone, just as sudden as it appeared. The tunnel is empty, except for you and your comrades. but the thought of the beast that tore these markings into the stone leaves you with an uneasy feeling as if someone or something is watching you. If you have more than 15 HP left on the gate, reduce it to 15 HP. And, would you know it, we have exactly 15, so nothing we need to reduce. So actually, the last fight went pretty much perfectly, right? So, and now for the I, you see here's like the letter I, and we have to put their tile 16A. So let me get that. Should be the last one here, right? Oh no, it's not the last one, but almost the last one. There we go. So, and we put that right there, and you see that's another dead end. So now we know that we've explored everything, because also at the bottom there is no letter. So that means now we have explored everything. That's one of our goals, explore everything. And now we also need to defend the gate. Let's see what happens. Before you open a larger chamber, at its end you see a stone door engraved with more runes pulsating in dim purple light. In front of it stands a human-sized creature besides a huge bear. They must have heard you as they immediately turn to your direction. The creature's head is that of a wolf, the human body dressed in shaman's garbs. Its stare and burning red eyes leave no doubt that it is hostile. The half-wolf shaman reaches out and touches a wolf amulet around his neck and begins to murmur words in an unknown language. Beside you, Tora draws her blade. "Your head is mine, wolf!" Just as she is about to charge, Enix stops her by holding her from behind, right in time as a glowing red portal opens in the center and kobolds and other demons emerge from it. "There are too many. Let us fight them in the upper tunnels and prepare our defenses," she claims. Alright, so now we have more enemies we need to fight. And yes, you guessed it, that will be like the final fight, so to speak, because we have explored pretty much everything. So, now I will just set up more enemies here. So first of all, we need that wolf shaman, which we have right here. And that we will put right here on this map tile. And also the demon bear. And I will do it without these standees again. Right, so we have the shaman here and the demon bear. We'll put them both down here. And then we also, of course, need the cards for them. So we have the shaman here, and also we have the demon bear here. So like this, you can see it quite well. So there is no, like, you see, like there will be a lot of cards now here on the table. So I always put them like close to where the enemies are, but of course they move, so it's kind of hard to track that. I haven't really found like a really good way of doing that yet, but there are maybe some ways to do it easier. So the demon bear, so there are like these little markings like for the player count, right? So the Wolfland shaman has like 8 health at a 2 player count, and demon bear has 2 plus 10. That means what we do is we put like a 10 on here and a 2 right there. That means it has 12 at the moment, right? So whenever we reduce that, then we continue with that one here. Okay, so, and what we do now is now we actually need to do the next phase, which is the preparation phase. Preparation phase is pretty interesting because during the preparation phase we can like we can now spend resources, which is in this case only silver. So if we take a look here again at the board, let me just get this down here. You see we have 12 silver, right, which we can now spend, and that's what I will do. We can spend that silver on traps, and theoretically there are also fortified tiles later on in the campaign, but in this scenario we can only spend our silver on traps. So, and you see here we have like, we can have a maximum of 2 traps each. It says here stock 2 and HP 5, which you see with the die up there, and this blade trap does 2 times an attack of 1, and it costs 4. So these 2 would cost 8 together, and each spike trap does a piercing attack of 1 and costs 2 each. So if we count all of that up, 4, 8, 10, 12. What a coincidence, exactly the silver we have left. So I will reduce the silver to 0 and buy all of these traps. And we can only place these on fortified tiles. Now I said we don't have fortified tiles in the first scenario. That's not quite true. We cannot get new ones or like additional ones, but we have 3 already. Like these 3 blue starting tiles here, these are all fortified. You see that because there's an emblem in the top left here, right? So we can like place traps there. So what I definitely want to do, I definitely want to put like traps like here, like on the tile where the gate is, because that's our main objective. defending the gate, right? So let me just put one of each maybe there. I think that might be a good idea. And also, there will spawn enemies later on, just a small spoiler, so they will come from several sides. But here we have like the tough enemies at the moment. So I will put the other 2 traps just right here. And I think with that, we should be pretty okay. And we will just stay there, right? And that is interesting because you explore, but these always stand there because you don't really explore with your miniatures. You just explore with the map tiles. Very interesting concept, if I do say so myself. All right, so now we're done spending resources. We have 0 silver left. Well, you can see it up here, but just trust me. And now we spawn enemies on each unfortified tile. That means all tiles except these 3. And what we do for that is, let me just take these down here. For that, we take all the cards here and also the enemies that we have also put aside for the scenario. We shuffle them up and then we start placing enemies. We do place enemies also in the tile activation order that I talked about before. So we will start there, and then we will go all around here, right? So let's start. Fortified. Here we will spawn 1 enemy. So there we will have the rune golem. Well, the same tile again. That is funny. Right there. Has a health of 9. Then this tile we will spawn a kobold archer. Okay. Right there. Has health of, let me find it, 5. Okay, so the good thing is in the first round the kobold will not be, the archer will not be able to get us. We will have to defeat him first, I think, because he actually has range. That is pretty bad. Okay, and also there's no traps here. If we had a trap there, that would be pretty cool, but we don't. So, alright, then the next tile, starting here again, fortified, right there. There we will spawn a kobold spearman, which is an enemy we haven't encountered yet. Let me just find the, the standee, put it right there. The kobold spearman has attack of 2, and if the attack does connect, then it also attacks a different target on an adjacent map tile for 1, which is pretty bad. Okay, and they have a health of 5 only. That is fine, but no range. That is one good thing. All right, and then the next map tile is the 2A. There we will spawn the kobold bomber. Oh, I hate this one. That is one I really hate. This one is like always like giving me a hard time because I don't quite know yet how to defeat him. But like the traps might actually help, because they only target the gate, so they don't do anything to us, right? But on death they do like 3 damage against everything on its map tile, but also including other enemies. But still, so what we could maybe do is like hope that these enemies will all go to the map tile. We will go to the right, defeat something there, and then we will have the bomber. Like maybe we can like hurt everyone. Let's see if that works. And the bomber has a health of 5. Okay, and then the next map tile here, 3A, is the kobold warrior. We already know this guy. That also targets like the player characters. Has 5 health as well, and then also has evasion. And then the last, right here, the last tile, we will have the Draugr horde, and that is one I really don't like. I think that one is quite tough to actually beat. It has 8 health, and we will put it right there. It is undead and a horde. A horde means that it reduces every attack we do against it to 1. Right? So we actually need to attack it like 8 times until it's gone. This is really annoying. And also it will target everything. Player characters, traps, the gate, everything. So this one is horrible, but luckily it's quite far back. So that I think is a thing that will actually help us in this battle here. What we do now is we will have to do the combat phase again, right? But before we do, let me just show you. There is like a little list here you can see up here, and that says like what you can do with silver. We only could buy these traps now, right? But you can also like upgrade traps, rebuild traps, revive and heal heroes. You can sell items, you can fortify map tiles. There's all kind of stuff you can do later on, which is pretty cool. Okay, so now we are done with the preparations, and as usual, the enemy phase goes first. So we will start here. That golem has no valid target, so will move. This one has no valid target and will move. This one has no valid target and will move into our traps. No valid target, will move, will move, will also move, will move, will move. So that's now the tower defense. So you see, like, this combat is like kind of also a tower defense, right? It's not just pure combat, because you have like these traps, right? So you actually do like kind of build out the fortifications, which is a really interesting concept. All right, now we have the trap phase, and now the traps trigger. And by the way, I made a small mistake. Let me just correct that. We are not able to build any traps on the map tile. I just realized that I made a mistake there. So instead we will put it here on the right one. Or should we have put it? No. We will have to put it there, because it needs to be fortified, not the map tile. And each tile can only have 2 traps maximum. So that is the only way we could have done that. So that is fine. Okay, so now we will do the trap phase, and what traps do is they actually attack, like according to whatever they say here, but they also have like hit points, which are indicated by these dice. They can be attacked, right? If the monsters actually do attack the traps, right? Because the spearman, for example, attacks everyone, so they will actually attack the traps later on, which is good, because then we can keep them away from the map tiles a little bit longer. Okay, as well as the golem. Okay, so well, we will just do like in any order pretty much, right? Because we are deciding like who we want to attack first. Let's start with these 2 traps. The blade trap does 2 times 1 damage. And the spearman does have evasion, that I've a token that I forgot to put on. Give me a second. So let me put that right here. The rune golem, what I can do actually to kind of remind myself of that is that they have 1 armor. I can put that right there. All right, and I think that should be fine. Okay, so now let's see, these traps will attack. So this one will do 2 times 1 damage, which the first one will be evaded, but the other one actually hits. And then the spike trap does just piercing attack of 1. So right there. So we already reduced the spearman by 2, which is not too bad. And same thing here. The rune golem actually has an armor of 1, which is pretty bad. That means the traps will not do any damage at all, right? Not at all. Yeah, because they all do like 1 damage each, and this will all be reduced except for the spike trap, because the spike trap has piercing damage. So let me just see, where is it? Right here. It will actually do 1 damage at least. So that was the trap phase, and now it's our phase again. Now we can do stuff. So that archer is the most important one, and because it will just attack from there, attack us and the gate from right there. So we need to move there. I can move 2 with Anik, which is pretty good. So I can move 2 with her. Just move right over there. I mustn't forget that die that will increase like every round, right? So yeah. And then I will just do attack 2. So the archer is over here, will receive 2 damage, only 3 damage left. I could now finish off the archer with the attack 3 damage, right? But I think that's a little bit too hasty. And I will also, yeah, I think that's fine for now. I will just keep it like this for now. I think that's okay. At the end of her turn, she will increase that here by 1. Okay, that's good. And with Harkon, I will not go here because we cannot move 2 anyway, and the golem is fine for now. The golem can attack the gate 15 times, so that is fine. And the spearman might die quite soon there. So let me just see. The cobalt bomber attacks only the gate. So the cobalt bomber will just walk through, and then it will attack the gate. Okay, you know what I will do? I will actually try to... Well, we can only move 1, right? Yeah. Let me just do that. Let me move 1. Also get 1 armor, because we will probably be attacked next round, I think. Or at least I want to be attacked. And then move 1 over there. And then I will actually attack the spearman. The spearman has health of 3 left. And the evasion is already gone as well. So that means I could now just do 3 damage and the spearman would be gone. That could actually work. I think that's an idea. Yeah, I think that's what I will do. So, yeah, let me do the attack of 3 here so that the spearman is gone. That is just good. It's just good to have less enemies here. So that one is fine. Will I do any of these? No, I will not do any of these large attacks. I will do that later on. Okay, that was our phase. And now it is the phase of the enemies again. This one will start. This one will attack the traps. It will do damage 2 against the traps. So let's just start by whittling down that one here by 1. There we go. Only has 3 health left. And then that archer will attack either us or the gate. It has, because the target is, let me just find, only targets the player. It will attack us. So I will actually receive 2 damage here. Let me continue here. The bomber has no valid target and will continue to move. And then that one has no valid target, and these will all just move up because these are all melee characters. Okay, I think we're doing okay. And now before it's our turn, the enemy, the traps will go first. So let's just start with these 2. The bomber has no shield or anything, so it will receive 3 damage by these traps, which is pretty good. Only 2 damage left. I could finish it off, but then it would also like damage everything else, and I don't want that. So I actually wanted to go to the gate, I think, and then maybe I don't know. Yeah, maybe I can like lure a few enemies to the gate and then have like the big, I don't know yet how I will deal with the bomber. The bomber is a real big issue, I think. And these again, the blade trap will just 2 attacks of 1, which doesn't do anything, but the spike trap has like piercing, so the golem will be reduced by 1. All right, and now I need to finish off the archer here. So with Enig, I will do attack 1. That means the archer is reduced by 1, and also we will heal by 1. Right there, and then I will do attack 2. So the archer is actually history, which is really good. Now it starts to rain outside, but it shouldn't be too loud, I hope. Okay, and then with Harkon, I don't know. I could now just easily defeat the bomber, but I don't want to, I think. With her, I will move back later on, so I will be able to heal Harkon in case he receives damage, which he will. By the way, the armor is gone because he hasn't received any damage. Then I will just move 1. I will move 1 over here to the warrior, and then I will do maybe a cleave attack. That means the first damage will be evaded, and the second one does 1 damage. I think that is okay. It is definitely not perfect, but I think that's fine. Let's see enemies again. We will start with the golem. The golem will do 2 damage to a trap. Let's take this one again here, because that's the most useless trap at the moment. So that's fine. It's just a meat shield, so to speak, without the meat. The bomber has no valid target, so the bomber will just continue and go there. And this one has a valid target, us. So it will attack by 2. So we only have 4 health left. And this one will move. And these 2 will move as well. Okay, so we're whittling down the enemies, but we still have like the really tough ones to fight here. Oh man, these are really tough. I should maybe retreat. I'm not 100% sure yet how I will do that. But let's see how we will do that. Okay, so, and then it is the trap's turn again, so to speak. So these will do nothing, and these, again, we will just whittle down the golem by 1 with our spike trap. Okay, so what will I do? I'm actually not too happy here, because the Draugr horde, we will need to attack them like 8 times until they are actually dead, right? And they do a lot of damage, so these are pretty tough. We could just do like some more massive damage. The Cobalt Warrior still needs 4 health that we need to inflict on it. So that is one thing. So I think what I will do is, I think I forgot the bomber, right? The bomber would do 1 damage to the gate. Sorry, I forgot about that. So I think with her, I will just move twice, like do the movement of 2. Didn't we have up there? Movement of 2. So we'll move there, and then I think I will do some healing. Heal 2, range 2. So I will just heal him up back to 6. I think that's a good idea. Yes. And then let me, with him, what will I do with him? Let me get 1 armor. I think that's a good thing to have. And then the overpower attack doesn't do anything here. Let me do the bull rush, because the bull rush is 2 + 1 attack. That's the same thing as the overpower one, because I had this movement of 1, right? So I will do 3 damage to the kobold warrior. That's better than nothing. No, actually the kobold warrior would have gotten back the evasion, right? So that wouldn't do too much. So I will do the cleave attack. The first one will be evaded and the second one hits. It's kind of tough to know what to do at the moment. But okay, I think I will have to retreat. And like make them whittle down the traps and then get them all to the center tile. I think that's probably the right way to go. But I will see about that next round. Okay, wow, we really have a storm outside. That is horrible, but it kind of fits the vibe here, doesn't it? Alright, then it's the enemy's turn again. This one will just do 1 damage to the gate. This one will destroy that trap here. And then this one will hit me for 2 damage, and this one will hit me for 2 damage as well. I can like reduce each of these attacks by 1, so I receive 2 damage altogether. And then these will all also move on this tile. So that's kind of tough now. I will definitely have to retreat. Alright, it's now the traps turn again, so to speak. These traps do nothing, and this one does 1 damage to the golem again, which is pretty good. Alright, so I will definitely move. Can I? That's the problem. I can never like attack first and then move. What I can do some strong attacks here, maybe, right? So use some of my abilities here. So who do we want to attack first? The Draugr horde is just annoying. I could like get rid of the kobold warrior, then we have like 1 less enemy to worry about. That would be one option, right? Also, we could just whittle down one of the large enemies. But I think I will actually do the use my double attack, maybe. Yeah, but the kobold warrior has like this evasion stuff, right? So it doesn't really matter. Let's do the double attack anyway. Right, because we don't have any, and then let's do 2 damage to the shaman and 3 damage to the demon bear. I think that's a pretty good idea. Then I will move 1 down here, and then what I do here doesn't matter, so I will just put it on the attack that does the least here. I think that's fine. Okay, now we have a thunderstorm outside. That is pretty bad, because we actually wanted to go someplace tonight. So I don't know if that is going to be a good idea. Okay, so that was him. And with Enek, what will I do with Enek? I can do no ranged attacks, right? No, I cannot do any ranged attacks. I can heal, you know what? Let me just do heal 1. And so I can heal him back up to 5 at least. That's better than nothing. And with that down here, I would do nothing. Also, this would have increased at least twice again. So that is something. Okay, the enemies again. This one will do 1 damage to the gate. This one will do 2 damage to this trap here. And these have no valid target, and they will all move like this. It's getting a little bit full here. With standees, it would be better, but it will also be quite full. Okay, now the traps activate. This one does 1 damage again to the rune golem. That's pretty funny. It's like it keeps getting damage, which is not too bad. And then these here would do like 2 times 1 damage. So let's actually do like 1 damage to the kobold warrior. So it will just defend, and then I will do the other 2 attacks there as well. So this one is then almost done. Okay, not too bad. Then it's our turn. With her, I will have to move at some point, because we want to lure all of them here, or like a lot of them there at least. So let's see. The shaman and the demon bear, they will move further to the gate next round. So I still have like 1 move to stay there. That's fine. And the Cobalt Warrior will have us as the target, right? And then, so I should move out of there, maybe, I think. Also the horde will attack anything, so they will actually stay there for now with the traps. So what I should definitely do is move. So with him I will move 1, and also will I need that armor? No, then I can't just move. Then I will move 1 and get the armor, I suppose. That's kind of the bad timing, but that's fine. And with her, what can I do with her? With him, I could also attack now. Wait, I could still attack. I do too much damage. So instead, I will... With him, I will do nothing. I will just put it to cleave, I guess. Yeah, I guess. And with her, I will move 1 spot there with the movement. And then I will do some healing for him just to be safe. That might be an idea. That will increase. I think that should have already increased to 6, but that's fine. So, a little bit difficult, but I think that's fine. Okay, so now it's the enemies again. This one will do 1 damage to the gate again. So that's down to 11. And this one will destroy the trap. And these will not do different things. These 2 will move to the gate. This one will stay here and attack the traps. It will do 2 damage. So let's just whittle that down to 3. And then this one here will actually also go here. Like this. Okay, so now it's the traps turn again. We only have these 2, and the Draugr horde will like reduce each damage to 1, but these do 3 attacks altogether, so it will actually receive 3 damage. So these traps actually will do some work. That is great. Okay, now as follows. I will start with Harkon first. So let me just turn that over at the beginning. Maybe that's better. First, I will move. I have to move out of here. That's very important. And then we can do some damage to the golem. The golem will block by 1. So let me just do let me do a bull rush. That is 3 damage, but it will only receive 2. So that's not too bad. That's okay. And with Anik, what I will do now is I will use her ultimate. I will use the Fynodar's roots, which does piercing attack and attack of 3 range anywhere. And I will actually attack here the bomber, because it means the bomber is now gone. And it is now dead, so it will do 3 damage against everything on the map. So it will now defeat the Cobalt Warrior. Oh no, actually evasion? Evasion probably also triggers there, right? Yeah, I think evasion also triggers there. So I guess the warrior will not die, but these 2 will receive 3 damage each. So down to 6 here and down to 3 here. And the gate will go down to 8. Okay, so now we can move in and do some serious damage, I hope. Okay, and that was her range attack. And now I will also... Let me think what we could do. Yeah, we could actually maybe do something here. I would do attack 1 and heal 1. So I'll just heal myself back up to 5. And then I will do a damage of 2 to the golem. So it receives 1 more damage. Only 1 because of the defense here of the shield. Okay, I think that's fine. We only have 8 health left. I don't know if we can win this, but let's just hope. They will do a lot of damage, so let's see if we can. But I will move in any minute, and then I will do a lot of damage. I should be able to do a lot of stuff then. Okay, now it's the enemy's turn. So this one will just move over there and do nothing. These 3 will all damage the gate, and that will be 7 damage. Okay, and then these will actually continue damaging the traps. It's Trap's turn. These will do like 3 damage altogether against the horde. So the horde will probably not survive here. Okay, so these are gone. Okay, Now it's our turn. With Anik, I will move here. And then I will use this one, which is at a 6 now. Reduce that to a 1 and do 6 damage. I will do that against the demon bear. So the bear is history. And then with Harkon, I will move as well and also get 1 armor. And then we will do some attacks here. I will do an attack of 2 against the golem. The golem will then be history as well. And then what I will also do is damage the shaman here with our ultimate. What am I doing here? With our ultimate, I'm piercing 2, attack 3. So the shaman is actually gone as well. I made a small rules mistake. I will tell you in just a minute. So am I done? I'm done with my play action. So I did 1 mistake. So the shaman, I would have actually, he would have been able to heal other enemies. Would that have been relevant? I think here at the end. Here it wouldn't have been relevant because it was always like far away. But here it would have been relevant. But that's fine. I will just kind of show you how the game works. Had I known that, had I remembered this, I definitely would have played differently. But this is fine. Okay, now it's the enemy's turn again. They will start. They will actually attack us because they have the player as the target. So let's just target, I don't know, Harkon. That's fine. And they will attack a trap. So let's just take this. Actually, no, let's just attack this one here. I think that's better. Like this. And then with the trap's turn, and the traps will now do enough damage to the horde to also defeat it. That's fine. And then it's our turn. Well, and we just have that 1 enemy there, so it doesn't really matter what we do, right? We will definitely defeat the Cobalt Warrior. It does have evasion, but I can attack once here with Anik, do 1 attack, which will be evaded, and heal 1 even. And then I can do like an attack of 2 or whatever to defeat the warrior. So, wow, that was a pretty tough fight. I think I made a few mistakes here, but you see, this is a fight that's definitely winnable. I made a few, probably not great decisions here because I lured them all to the gate. But had I not forgotten, I forgot that with the shaman, unfortunately. But apart from that, I think, the plan actually did work, right? It was a little bit rough here because we only had 1 HP left, but it worked. So, yeah, that is how you play that. Let me now read the epilogue. After this fight here. You block the wolf-like shaman, barely stopping one of his demonic claws as it breaks a splinter from your shield. Just as his jaws snap towards your head, you shift your balance, driving the full weight of your axe down onto its neck. Muscles tear and bones crunch as the blade pushes through. Driven by your momentum, a decapitated body thuds to the ground. You hardly notice the blood on your clothes and armor as you kneel to inspect the corpses. The garments are blood-soaked and torn, the eyes now eerily lifeless. But there, you see something flashing beneath his vest, and as you tug on the chain around his neck, you uncover his amulet. It must be pure silver, so at least you have earned something from this battle. You stow it and rejoin your comrades. Together you return to the chamber where the portal has disappeared, and the runes around the stone door lost any sign of light. You push against the door, but it does not budge. Well, another dead end. You almost let out a frustrated sigh. But then you spot something in the corner of the cave. The deer's corpse looks still fresh. You shoulder it and flash Anik and Tora an enthusiastic smile. Let's head home. Looks like we have our feast after all. Alright, so, and that is the first chapter of Midhalla. I just wanted to show that to you. And now you would take out the party sheet that I showed to you before and mark chapter 1 is complete, right? So that is how that works. And now you have all, we have also unlocked chapter 2 and we unlocked 4 more heroes that we can actually play with. So that is pretty cool, with the base class, right? These heroes, let me just show you. They also have a back with a red sign, and you can unlock that later on. But these are the base heroes here. So that is how you play Midhalla. I hope I didn't make too many mistakes and that I did the game justice. So yeah, but how do I like the game? Well, as usual, let me tell you, the theme is pretty cool. I wouldn't say I'm the biggest Vikings fan, but it's a topic that isn't explored as much as other themes, such as, for example, sci-fi or fantasy. That's cool to see. Also, I like this light mystic fantasy touch it has. That's actually pretty cool combination. Regarding the components, I can only say so much, because this is, of course, still a prototype. Don't get me wrong, I like such prototypes where all the pieces are assembled with so much care. Yet, and that's not a negative, this essentially still is a prototype, and there will be many more components in a much higher quality in the production copy. For example, a lot of the paper components will be punchboard. The miniatures for the heroes and traps will be more refined. There will be more than 40 enemies that all have different abilities and generally just more stuff. More bosses, more event cards, a full campaign with more than 12 chapters, and a campaign book with around 50,000 words. And that is not all. But I'm not allowed to say a whole lot more before the campaign actually starts, but there are some more surprises awaiting you. If you ask me, that sounds pretty amazing. From what I've seen so far, I like this style of the game. That includes not only just the theme and the kind of components, but also the art style. I think it's well done, and the kind of mystic vibe gets across. I'm excited to see what the full production copy holds in store for us. But let's get back to what I can actually evaluate. Focusing on the gameplay, the game is quite easy to learn at the beginning, but soon more rules and mechanisms are added to the general gameplay. You just saw that in the first mission, right? And that's great, because the rules really ease you into the first mission before it actually does escalate quite a bit. As I said, well, you saw that in today's playthrough. Speaking of the rules, my opinion is twofold here. On the one hand, the rules are written well, and especially the beginning does a good job of teaching you the basics. But if I try to look for specific rules, it gets a bit harder. There's a little bit more work needed here to tweak the rules and refine them. But then again, this is still a prototype and much more work will go into this. Don't underestimate the time, money and effort needed to create such an ambitious project. And this project definitely is ambitious. Alright, but how do I actually like the gameplay? That should be the most important question, right? Well, I like it. This game does something I haven't seen before. Blending together a dungeon crawler with a tower defense mechanism. There was this one video game at some point, like many years ago, that did something like that. But I mean, this is a board game, and Midhalla does that really well. And the game becomes even more interesting later on when more and more mechanisms as well as story bits are unlocked. Even I, as a reviewer, have not seen everything this game will offer, not at all. And I'm already quite impressed with the scope I have seen here. One thing to keep in mind, beside the potentially larger rules overhead, is the amount of stuff you will have on the table. You saw a small glimpse of it here with the map tiles, the heroes, the enemies tiles, the traps, the player boards, the campaign book, and so on. There's a lot to manage here, and while I think it's fine, some of you might find this a little bit too much. Just something you should know. But then again, there are games that have much more stuff, even many more miniatures. So I think this is still manageable. I think the most complicated stuff to kind of keep track of is the enemies, right? Which is why I actually missed that with the shaman. All in all, Midhalla is quite an ambitious game that effortlessly blends a dungeon crawl with tower defense, offering a rich narrative, engaging gameplay, and different cool progression systems. I'm very much looking forward to following the campaign to see what else the game has in store for us. I will also definitely check out the next game the studio is working on right now when I'm at Spiel in Essen this year. If you just remotely like what you saw in today's preview, I suggest you check out the campaign. I mean, just checking it out won't hurt. As usual, I will put the link in this video's description. And well, you made it to the end of my review of the game Midhalla. As usual, I'd like to thank you all for the support. That means a lot to me. I especially want to thank my patrons who are supporting me on Patreon. The biggest thanks go out to Harkon, who was my biggest support at the highest tier. Thank you so much for that. If you would like to support me as well, check out the link to my Patreon in this video's description. There you can see all the tiers I've come up with. As usual, I'm always thankful for any likes, comments, and especially subscriptions. You can also join my Discord server if you'd like to hang out with me and my community. Alright, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the very next video. Take care everyone, stay safe, and cheers!
Thank you.